Welcome back to the Deep Dive. This is where we take the information you give us and really pull out the core insights you need fast.
Yep, get you informed.
Today we're plugging into cybersecurity careers. It's all based on this great resource you send over, buildingcyberwarriors.pdf. Think of it as your personalized intel briefing on the topic.
Exactly. And we're not just, scratching the surface. We're really digging into the importance of cybersecurity, the actual career paths, how to learn, getting experience, networking, the whole 9 yards.
Right, giving you actionable stuff.
That's the plan.
Our goal here is to cut through all the jargon, find what really matters in this material for you, and maybe even find some surprises. Okay, let's jump in. Cybersecurity. Why is it such a massive topic right now?
Well, the document lays it out pretty well. Fundamentally, it's about protecting our digital world, isn't it? The systems, networks, data, everything that runs our modern lives.
Protecting it from what exactly?
Yeah. From, unauthorized access, damage, theft, you name it. In today's world where everything's online, from banking to city infrastructure, it's just gone from being like a tech issue to a fundamental need.
Absolutely. The material lists 10 key reasons. Which ones really stand out to you as the most critical?
Good question. I'd say protecting sensitive information has to be right up there. We're talking personal stuff, financial details, even, company secrets, intellectual property.
So the crown jewels, digitally speaking.
Pretty much. Cybersecurity is the lock on that digital vault. Yeah. And tied right into that is preventing financial loss. Cyber attacks aren't just annoying, they're incredibly expensive.
How so?
Well, think about data breaches, ransomware demands, which is basically digital kidnapping of your data or just outright fraud. Good cybersecurity, it's like an insurance policy against those digital disasters. It saves money, plain and simple.
Right. It hits the bottom line. It's not just abstract tech stuff. What else from that list in the document is really significant?
The safeguarding of critical infrastructure, that's huge. People don't always think about it, but we mean power grids, water systems, transportation, healthcare.
Stuff we absolutely rely on.
Exactly. An attack there could be catastrophic in the real world, not just online. And then there's privacy and personal security. With all the online services we use constantly, they're all gathering data, right?
Oh, yeah.
So cybersecurity is what helps maintain our privacy, stops that data being misused. It's about having some control over your own digital footprint,
So it protects individuals just as much as big organizations.
Precisely. And for those organizations, their reputation is totally on the line. One big breach, customer trust can just evaporate, poof, gone overnight.
Hard to earn back.
Very hard. So good cybersecurity builds and keeps that trust. Then, of course, you've got the day-to-day fight against cybercrime phishing emails, trying to get your password, malware, trying to wreck your computer.
The stuff we hear about all the time.
Right. Strong security is your shield against that digital underworld. And finally, the document mentions compliance. Regulations like GDPR in Europe or HIPAA for healthcare here. Companies have to have good security or they face massive fines.
Okay, so the big picture is clear.
Yeah.
Robust cybersecurity isn't just optional anymore. It's fundamental for, functioning confidently in this digital age.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It builds resilience.
All right, let's zoom out a bit. What does the wider cybersecurity landscape actually look like now, according to this material? What are the big trends, the major challenges?
Well, as of 2023, the document paints a picture that's very fluid and, frankly, a bit scary. The threats are getting way more sophisticated really fast.
Absolutely.
It talks about advanced persistent threats, APTs. Think of these as like elite digital spies, highly skilled, very stealthy attackers, often backed by nation states, aiming to get into systems and just stay there undetected for ages.
Wow. And ransomware, that seems to be everywhere in the news.
Oh, absolutely. The document really highlights the massive surge in ransomware. It hits everyone, individuals, small businesses, huge corporations, everything just grinds to a halt.
And it's evolving, right?
Yeah, what's really worrying is the rise of ransomware as a service, RAIS. Basically, the bad guys are franchising their operations. They sell or lease their ransomware tools to other criminals.
Seriously, like a subscription service for crime.
Kind of, yeah. It lowers the barrier to entry, so you get way more attacks. It's a nasty business model.
That is disturbing. What other big shifts does the document point out?
The explosion of IoT devices, Internet of Things, smart fridges, thermostats, industrial sensors. Everything's connected.
Which means more ways in for attackers.
Exactly. Every single device is a potential weak spot if it's not secured properly. And cloud security is another massive area. So many companies are moving to the cloud.
For storage, for applications.
Right. And ensuring the confidentiality, integrity, availability, the CIA triad, they call it, of data in the cloud is a huge ongoing challenge.
And with all that data floating around, privacy concerns must be growing too.
Definitely. The document emphasizes how data privacy rules like GDPR and CCPA in California are getting tougher. Organizations really have to prioritize protecting personal data now. It's not optional.
What about AI? We hear so much about artificial intelligence. How does that fit in?
Yeah. AI and machine learning, ML. It's a double-edged sword, according to the material. On the one hand, AI is amazing for defense spotting weird patterns, automating security tasks.
But the flip side?
The flip side is attackers are using AI too, to create smarter malware, more convincing phishing attacks, things that can evade traditional defenses. It's a constant arms race.
Attack and defense always leapfrogging each other.
Pretty much. And another critical point the document makes is the skills gap. There just aren't enough trained cybersecurity professionals to fill all the open jobs.
So a huge demand for people.
Huge demand. We desperately need more people getting into the field and current professionals upskilling. And tied to that is the human element security awareness.
You mean training regular employees?
Exactly. Because human error is still a major vulnerability. Clicking on a bad link, using a weak password, even the best tech can be bypassed if people aren't careful. The document also stresses collaboration, sharing threat info globally. These threats don't respect borders.
It sounds incredibly complex. It demands constant vigilance, really.
Vigilance and a proactive mindset. You can't just react anymore.
Okay, let's drill down into those threats. What are the specific common attack methods the material warns about? The things individuals and organizations really need to watch out for.
Right. The document gives a good rundown. Phishing is still massive. Attackers pretending to be someone legit, your bank, your boss, to trick you into giving up passwords or clicking malicious links.
We've all seen those emails.
Oh, yeah. Then there's malware. That's the umbrella term. You've got viruses that latch onto programs, worms that spread themselves across networks. Trojans. Yeah, they pretend to be useful software but have a hidden malicious purpose. Ransomware, which locks up your files until you pay. Spyware that secretly watches what you do. And they get delivered all sorts of ways. Bad email attachments, dodgy websites, infected downloads.
Nasty stuff. What about those attacks that just knock websites offline?
Denial of service, DOS, or distributed denial of service, DDoS. That's where they flood a target server with so much traffic it just gets overwhelmed and crashes, can take down crucial services.
And man in the middle. Sounds ominous.
It is. Mid-tem attacks are where an attacker secretly sits between two communicating parties like you and your bank's website and intercepts or even changes the information going back and forth.
Scary. What else?
Password attacks are still a huge problem. Brute force guessing, dictionary attacks, or credential stuffing where they try passwords stolen from one breach on other sites really highlights why unique, strong passwords and multi-factor authentication are so vital.
Multi-factor is that second code you get on your phone, right?
Exactly. Adds another layer. Then you have attacks targeting the website code itself, like SQL injection, messing with databases, and zero-day exploits. Those are particularly nasty because they target flaws in software that nobody knows about yet, so there's no patch available.
Wow. How do attackers find those?
It takes skill, or sometimes they buy them on the dark web. Then there's social engineering, basically manipulating people, playing on psychology to get them to reveal info or grant access. It's not always technical hacking.
The human element again.
Always. We mentioned APPs earlier, those long-term stealthy attacks. And finally, the document reminds us not to forget insider threats. People inside an organization, either malicious or just careless, causing harm.
That's quite a rogues gallery of threats. It really drives home the need for layers of defense, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And constant vigilance.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Cybersecurity isn't just about the tech, is it? The document talks a lot about ethics and legal stuff, too.
Oh, hugely important. Yeah, the material covers this well. Privacy is fundamental. How do you ethically handle people's personal data? Collection, storage, processing. You have to follow rules like GDPR, CCPA.
And data protection.
That's about having the right security measures, encryption, access controls to actually keep that data safe. It also brings in the role of ethical hackers who find flaws to help improve protection.
So hacking for good, essentially.
Exactly. Then there's confidentiality. If you're a cybersecurity pro, you see sensitive stuff. You have an ethical duty to keep it secret.
Makes sense. What if a researcher finds a security hole in some software? What's the ethical thing to do?
That's responsible vulnerability disclosure. The ethical path, according to the document, is to tell the company privately first, give them time to fix it before you tell the world. You don't want criminals exploiting it.
Right. And what about those ethical hackers doing penetration testing?
They need clear authorization first. You can't just start hacking. And they have strict rules, do no harm, stay within the agreed boundaries. It's all about ethical boundaries.
So a strong ethical code is vital.
Absolutely. And preventing cybercrime itself is an ethical duty. Cooperating with law enforcement, staying aware of threats. Plus, you absolutely must comply with the law, things like the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act here in the U.S.
Are the tools themselves an ethical consideration?
Yes, the document points that out. Cybersecurity tools can be powerful. Using them maliciously is obviously unethical. Informed consent is another one, getting permission before you do security tests or collect data. And finally, continuous education. Ethics and laws change, so you have to keep learning.
It sounds like responsibility is woven into the very fabric of this field.
It really is. These ethical and legal pillars are what build trust. Without them, the whole thing falls apart.
So, okay, someone listening is intrigued. They're thinking, maybe cybersecurity is for me. What actual jobs are out there? What kind of career paths does the document outline?
Oh, there's a huge variety. Really diverse. You've got security analysts. They're often on the front lines, watching the monitors, looking for anything suspicious, responding to alerts.
Digital watchguards.
Kind of, yeah. Then ethical hackers or penetration testers. Their job is to think like the bad guys and find the weaknesses before the real attackers do. It's proactive defense.
Cool job title.
It is. Then security engineers. They're the builders. They design, implement, and maintain the secure systems, the firewalls, the security infrastructure.
Architects.
Yep. Security architects take a higher level view. They design the overall security strategy, the big picture blueprint for an organization's defenses.
Okay, that's a good start. What else?
Lots more. Cryptographers, the specialists who develop and work with encryption methods, very math heavy usually. Security consultants give expert advice to companies. Incident responders are the firefighters. They jump in when a breach happens, figure out what's going on, contain it, fix it.
High pressure, I bet.
Definitely. Security auditors check if a company's security measures meet standards and regulations. Forensic experts dig through digital evidence after an attack to figure out who did it, how they did it, like digital detectives. And security managers lead the teams, oversee the whole cybersecurity operation. As the document points out, the field is so broad now, people often specialize, and you absolutely have to keep learning no matter which path you choose.
It really sounds like there's something for many different types of thinkers and problem solvers. Now, for some of those roles you mentioned, analyst, engineer, ethical hacker, what specific skills or qualifications does the material say are typically needed?
Right, let's break that down. For a security analyst, the document stresses needing a good grip on network protocols, how the internet actually works, security fundamentals, incident response know-how, and really strong analytical skills are key. Spotting the needle in the haystack.
And for the ethical hacker?
They need deep knowledge of hacking techniques, obviously. Good programming or scripting skills, solid network understanding, and crucially, a strong ethical mindset. You have to know the dark arts, but use them for good.
What about security engineers, the builders?
They need strong network security knowledge, skills in designing secure systems, hands-on experience with things like firewalls, intrusion detection systems, VPNs, practical building skills.
What are the architects, the big picture people?
They need a wide understanding of different security architectures, risk assessment skills, and really excellent communication abilities. They have to explain complex security ideas to everyone from techies to the CEO.
That communication piece seems important across the board.
It really is. What about some of the more specialized roles, like cryptographers or forensic experts?
Okay, cryptographers, the document says, usually need a strong math background, deep understanding of algorithms, key management. It's quite specialized. Security consultants need broad cybersecurity knowledge, often audit experience, and again, great communication skills to advise clients effectively.
Incident responders. The firefighters.
They need solid incident response plans and methodologies, good network and system knowledge, and the ability to think clearly and solve problems under intense pressure. Security auditors need to know the frameworks like NIST or ISO have audit experience and be analytical and good at reporting findings.
Forensic experts.
Deep digital forensics knowledge, understanding operating systems inside out, incredible attention to detail. It's meticulous work. And security managers need that cybersecurity foundation, but also strong leadership, management, and risk management skills. But, the document rightly says specifics vary a lot, and continuous learning is the constant thread for everyone.
Absolutely. And the field isn't standing still. What emerging trends or new specializations does the material highlight as really shaping the future of cybersecurity?
Yeah, it points to several key growth areas. Cloud security is massive, obviously.
Yeah.
Securing stuff in AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. It's different. IoT security, securing all those billions of connected devices is becoming critical.
AI and ML security. Yep, that's emerging. Protecting the AI models themselves from being tricked or poisoned, plus using AI for better security. Data privacy and compliance isn't going away. The need for experts in GDPR, CCPA, etc. is growing.
What about being more proactive?
That's where threat intelligence and hunting come in. Not just reacting, but actively gathering intel on threats and hunting for intruders already inside your network. Very proactive.
DevSecOps. Heard that term.
Right. Secure DevOps. Building security into the software development process from the start, not bolting it on at the end. Much more efficient. Mobile security is huge, obviously, with phones and tablets everywhere.
Any others?
Industrial control systems, ICS, security protecting power plants, manufacturing, that critical infrastructure stuff. Blockchain security as crypto and related tech evolve. And overarching everything is cybersecurity, governance, and risk management, setting the strategy, policies, managing overall risk. These trends, the document suggests, offer really exciting pathways for specialization.
Okay, so there are tons of options. But how does someone listening figure out where they fit in? How do you assess your own interests and skills for a cybersecurity career?
The document offers a really practical approach. First step, research. Really learn about the different roles, what they actually do day to day.
Don't just go by the cool job title.
Exactly. Then self-assessment. Be honest. Are you a natural problem solver? Do you genuinely like technology? Are you curious? Okay with constantly learning new things? How are your analytical skills? Do you like teamwork or prefer working alone? What are your ethical lines?
Knowing yourself.
Crucial. Then, a skills evaluation. What relevant skills do you already have? Maybe from IT or networking or even just strong logic skills. And where are the gaps you'd need to fill?
How do you get a feel for the field?
Exposure and experience are key. Read blogs, listen to podcasts like this one, maybe attend an introductory conference or local meetup, join online communities, try some small personal projects, set up a secure home network, maybe play with a virtual lab. Internships are fantastic if you can get one.
Talk to people.
Absolutely. Networking. Talk to people actually working in cybersecurity. Get their real-world perspective. And think about your long-term goals. Where do you want to be in 5-10 years? Does this path lead there? And finally, the document suggests seeking guidance mentors, career counselors can offer objective advice. It's a personal journey, finding that fit.
That makes a lot of sense. So once you have an idea of where you want to go, how do you build the roadmap? How do you create an effective learning plan?
Structure is key, according to the material. First, identify your specific areas of interest. Don't try to learn everything at once. Pick a focus maybe in network security or ethical hacking.
Okay.
Then, define clear learning objectives. Use the SMART goals framework, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. Makes it concrete.
Breakdown.
Yes, break down big goals into smaller, manageable milestones, like complete this online module by Friday, or set up a basic lab by end of month. Makes it less overwhelming. And set a realistic timeline. Be honest about how much time you can commit.
So planning the journey.
Exactly. Then figure out your learning resources. Online courses, books, hands-on labs, a mix. Find what works for you. Track your progress regularly. Are you hitting your milestones? Where are you struggling? Adjust as needed.
Keep motivated.
Yeah, maintain motivation. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And adapt your plan. Your interests might change, new tech emerges, be flexible. The document stresses having a growth mindset, being persistent, and celebrating the small wins along the way.
Good advice. Now, find those learning resources. There's so much out there. How do you find stuff that's actually reputable and effective?
That's a common challenge. The document suggests several good starting points. Accredited educational institutions, universities, community colleges often have solid programs. Professional certifications from known bodies like CompTIA, Security Plus, ISC, CISP, EC Council, CEH, ISIC, CIRISM. Their official materials are usually reliable.
Online platforms.
Reputable online learning platforms, Coursera, edX, Udemy, Pluralsight, Cybrary, have tons of courses, often taught by industry pros. Just check reviews and instructor credentials. Industry associations like ISKey, ISA, OWASP offer resources, webinars, local chapters.
Maybe others?
Government resources like NIST here in the U.S. have excellent publications and frameworks freely available. Online communities, Reddit subreddits like cybersecurity, Stack Exchange can be great for peer advice and recommendations. And don't forget traditional books by well-known experts.
So do your homework on the resource itself.
Definitely. Read reviews, see if the style fits how you learn. Consider your budget, and look for resources that emphasize hands-on practice, not just theory. And finding good resources is vital, which is why we appreciate sponsors who support the community, like www.cisomarketplace.services and www.securitycareers.help. They help connect people with valuable tools and services.
That's a great point. Now, specifically about online courses and certifications, they're super popular. How can someone really maximize their value?
Good question. The document has solid advice here. First, be clear on your goals. Why are you taking this course or getting this cert? Choose platforms and courses that are reputable and, crucially, up to date. This field changes fast.
Check the instructor.
Yes, check instructor expertise. Look at the course structure. Does it cover what you need? Does it offer hands-on labs? Look for certification opportunities if that's your goal. Read learner reviews.
And don't just rely on the course alone.
Exactly. Supplement it. Read related articles, try things out in your own lab. Most importantly, actively apply what you learn. Don't just passively watch videos. Do the exercises, build things, break things ethically, and view it as part of continuous learning, not a one-and-done thing. They're tools, valuable ones, but need to be combined with practice.
That leads perfectly into the next point. The document really hammers home the need for practical, hands-on experience. What are some real tangible ways to get that?
Oh yeah, this is crucial. The document lists a bunch of great ways. Capture the flag competitions, CTFs. They're like ethical hacking games, really fun, and you learn a ton.
I've heard of those.
Set up your own vulnerable systems and labs. Download vulnerable virtual machines like Metasploitable and practice attacking them safely. Contribute to open source cybersecurity projects on places like GitHub. Great way to learn and collaborate.
What about personal projects?
Definitely. Undertake personal projects. Secure your home network. Analyze some malware safely in a sandbox. Build a security tool. Explore dedicated cybersecurity labs and simulations online. Many platforms offer these.
Bug bounties.
Participate in bug bounty programs. Companies pay you to find vulnerabilities in their systems. Great real-world and ethical hacking experience. Internships and apprenticeships are obviously fantastic for structured on-the-job learning.
Team exercises.
Engage in red team versus blue team exercises if you get the chance. Simulates real attack and defense scenarios. And just collaborate and participate in online communities. Share what you're learning, ask questions, but always, the document stresses be ethical and keep learning through doing.
It's clear it's not just about what you know, but also who you know and engaging with the community. How vital is networking in cybersecurity?
According to the document, it's absolutely critical, essential, really. Why? Well, first, building a supportive community, mentors, peers, people you can ask for help or bounce ideas off.
That current.
Hugely important. Networking helps you stay updated on trends, threats, new tools. You hear things you might not otherwise. Accessing job opportunities. So many jobs are found through connections, referrals. It's huge.
Collaboration.
Fosters collaboration and knowledge sharing. You meet people with different skills, different perspectives. Great for career development and mentorship. Finding people who can guide you. Enhancing your professional reputation, becoming known in the community.
Building relationship.
Nurturing long-term relationships. These connections can last your whole career. And embracing diversity and inclusion networking brings together people from all backgrounds, which strengthens the whole field.
So being an active participant is key. What are some specific ways to do that, like joining organizations?
Yes, the document strongly pushes joining professional organizations and communities. The benefits are numerous. Access to resources, research, training, reports, great networking opportunities, meetings, forums, events, professional development certs, workshops, often at discounts.
Credibility.
Adds industry recognition and credibility, shows you're serious. These groups often do advocacy work, influencing policy. They offer mentorship programs. And crucially, support continuing education and lifelong learning. Groups like ISA, OWASP, ISC chapters, definitely worth checking out.
And conferences. They seem like a big deal in this field. What's the value proposition there?
Conferences are huge, yeah. The document highlights several key benefits. Knowledge, obviously. You get deep dives into cutting-edge research, new threats, new techniques, unparalleled networking. Everyone's there, from top experts to recruiters. Technology showcases see the latest security products and services up close.
Professional development, too.
Definitely. Many offer training sessions, workshops, ways to earn continuing education credits needed for certifications, and exposure to thought leadership hearing from the people shaping the industry. Plus, it raises your own visibility. The document lists big ones like RSA, Black Hat, DFCon, but there are many others, regional ones too. Always check their official sites for details.
It's clear there's a lot of structure in the field, too. The document talks about understanding standards and frameworks. What are those, and why do they matter?
Think of them as established playbooks, sets of guidelines, best practices, controls that help organizations manage their security in a consistent, structured way. They provide a common language.
Examples.
The document covers several big ones. The NIST cybersecurity framework, CSF, is very popular in the U.S., focuses on identify, protect, detect, respond, recover functions. ISO 27770 is the big international standard for information security management systems. PCI DSS is specifically for protecting credit card data. CIS controls are a prioritized list of technical best practices. COBIT is more about IT governance. IPsec security rule is for healthcare data in the U.S. GDPR is the EU's data protection law. Organizations usually pick and mix based on their industry and needs.
Let's pick one of those, the NIST cybersecurity framework. Can you elaborate a bit on what it is and how it's used practically?
Sure. The NIST CSF, as the document explains, has three main parts, the core of those five functions: identify, protect, detect, respond, recover. Each has categories and subcategories outlining specific goals.
Right.
Then implementation tiers. These describe how mature an organization's security practices are, from partial up to adaptive. And finally, profiles. These let an organization map its specific needs and risks to the framework core.
How do companies actually use it?
Several ways. It's great for risk assessment, understanding where you are now and where the gaps are. It helps develop security programs, providing a structure. It aids compliance with regulations, as many map to the CSF. It improves communication, everyone uses the same terms, and it supports continuous improvement. It's a really flexible, widely adopted framework.
Okay, what about ISO 27001 and the CIS controls? How are they implemented? What are the main steps?
Right. For ISO 27001, the document outlines steps like conduct a risk assessment, select appropriate security controls from Annex A of the standard, implement those controls, create documentation and policies, this is big in ISO, deliver training, conduct internal audits, and maybe go for formal certification. It's quite a structured process for building an information security management system, or ISMS.
And CIS controls?
CIS controls are more focused on prioritized technical actions. Implementation involves selecting the relevant controls, they're tiered, planning how to implement them, actually implementing the safeguards, continuously monitoring their effectiveness, collaborating with others. CIS encourages info sharing, and using them to show compliance. Both frameworks, the document notes, help build a really strong security foundation.
Got it. One framework mentioned often, especially for web stuff, is the OWASP Top 10. What's that about, and why is web application security so critical?
OWASP Top 10. Super important. It's basically a list, updated periodically by the Open Web Application Security Project, of the 10 most critical risks facing web applications. Think things like injection flaws, broken authentication, cross-site scripting, common ways websites get hacked.
And why is securing web apps so vital?
Because, as the document points out, they're often the front door to an organization's data and systems. They handle customer logins, transactions, sensitive info. If they're insecure, it can lead to major data breaches, system compromise, business disruption, non-compliance with rules like PCI DSS, and a massive loss of customer trust and reputation. It's a huge attack surface.
So how do you protect against those top 10 risks?
The document suggests key practices. Secure coding from the start. Regular security testing like vulnerability scanning and penetration testing. Keeping everything patched. Using web application firewalls, WAFs. Implementing strong authentication and session management. Robust security monitoring. And having a solid incident response plan ready just in case.
Okay, bringing it back to the individual career path. Setting clear goals seems essential. How does the document advise setting short-term versus long-term career goals in cybersecurity?
It breaks it down nicely. Short-term goals, think the next 1 to 3 years should focus on concrete things. Skill development in specific areas, getting a relevant certification, achieving specific performance objectives in your current job, building your network, finding a mentor. Tangible steps.
And long-term?
Long-term goals looking further out are broader. What kind of career advancement do you want? Senior roles, management, specialization. Do you need more education, like a degree or advanced cert? Do you aim for industry recognition? What about work-life balance, financial objectives, and what kind of impact do you want to make? The key, the document says, is to write them down and review them regularly, adjusting as needed.
Makes sense. And once you have those goals, how do you identify the actual steps, the milestones, the opportunities to help you reach them?
The document lists typical milestones and opportunities. Getting the right education and certifications is often foundational. Landing entry-level positions or internships to get your foot in the door and gain experience. Choosing areas for specialization. Building up that professional experience and documenting your successes. Constantly engaging in continuous learning. Moving into leadership roles eventually, if that's a goal. Maybe contributing to research or open source. Actively networking. Joining professional associations. Seeking mentorship. It's a continuous cycle of learning, doing, connecting, and growing.
That phrase continuous learning keeps coming up. It really seems non-negotiable in this field. What are the best strategies the document suggests for actually doing that, staying current, enhancing skills ongoingly?
Yeah, it's paramount. The document lists a whole toolkit of strategies. Stay informed. Read industry news, blogs, follow experts, do training programs, workshops, webinars, formal courses, use online platforms, Coursera, Pluralsight, Cybrary for flexible learning and labs, get industry certifications. They often require continuing education anyway. Attend conferences and events, great for learning and networking.
Hands-on stuff.
Definitely. Do CTFs spark the skills in a fun way? Contribute to open source projects, learn by doing and collaborating, join online communities, discuss, ask questions, share knowledge. And maybe most importantly, hands-on practice. Set up your own lab, experiment, break things safely, and fix them. It requires dedication, the document concludes, and being proactive about seeking out learning opportunities. Again, resources are key here, supported by sponsors like www.cisomarketplace.services and www.securitycareers.help, who help foster that ecosystem of learning and tools.
Absolutely. Okay, final stretch. For someone ready to make a move, maybe transition into a new role or get promoted, what advice does the material offer for navigating those career transitions and advancing?
It boils down to being intentional and proactive. First, set clear goals for where you want to go next. Then, honestly, assess your skills against the requirements for that next step. Identify the gaps. Commit to continuous learning to fill those gaps. Actively seek practical experience in your target area, maybe through side projects or volunteering for specific tasks at work.
Oh, for challenges.
Yes. Seek challenging opportunities that push you and let you demonstrate new skills. Don't forget to develop soft skills, communication, leadership, teamwork become even more vital as you advance. And stay aware of job market trends. Know what skills are in demand. It takes dedication, planning, and actively pursuing growth.
Wow. This has been incredibly thorough, a real deep dive into the world of cybersecurity careers, all pulled from that resource you provided.
It's a dense field, lots to cover.
It really is. But the core message seems clear. Whether you're just curious or already in the field, success hinges on a structured approach. Continuous learning, getting your hands dirty with practical experience, and building strong professional connections. That seems to be the recipe.
I think that captures it well. Learn, do, connect.
We definitely encourage you, the listener, to explore the specific resources and tools mentioned in your material. And a huge thank you again to our sponsors, www.cisomarketplace.services and www.securitycareers.help for supporting these deep dives.
Yes, thank you to www.cisomarketplace.services and www.securitycareers.help. It's been great digging into this.
It really has. So here's a final thought for you to chew on. As our world gets more and more digital, more interconnected, how will your unique skills, your interests, your passions shape the future of cybersecurity? How will you contribute to making our digital world safer for everyone?